which means that I'm now prepared to show you guys the budget. And instead of going back and catching you up everything that I did between the end of October and now, I'm just going to start fresh with the new year. Don't you love this? This is my new budget planner. Grogu, I figured I could get my fiance on board. You know, if I could get him something that he liked. So there you go. And we'll just open this right up. I don't know that I have anything in here just yet. I don't. If you all have any ideas for what to do with these pages, I'm all ears. Now, my plan is, at some point, I did Franken plan this and put all the extra pages from every other planner that I had that were unused in this planner. So you're going to see a lot of paper in here throughout the course of the year. But my plan is to put like an annual budget up here or some type of annual tracker up here. And I forget now what all I was going to put. I think to track my side hustle investments heading into the year so that I can keep last year's information broken down here and keep track of how far forward I've brought myself. But I'm going to put just some annual type trackers up in here. And then of course I have my January monthly spread, and I'm actually going to start using these bill due stickers to mark off what's already been paid for the month, because November and December were a hot mess because I had so much going on and I did not, like, there's only so much time in a day and I work 2 jobs, and I know that some of you can relate to that. So things just got hectic, and I'm not even going to lie, y'all, my emergency fund that I already had was not enough to cover what I needed to cover. So my debt now is still lower than it was in January of 2021, but it's not as much lower as I had hoped for the amount of money that I threw at it this year. So I'm a little heartbroken about that, but that's what happens. And you know, it just is what it is. But the way that I have my budget broken down and how I do things, out of my December 30th paycheck, I had the money to pay already in my account all of these bills that are already checked off. And the ones that don't have dollar amounts on them are the ones that are joint bills. And that's just because I don't have permission to share my fiance's income. So instead of sharing with you what those entire amounts are, I just share with you what my portion of the entire amount is. But all of those have been paid. And the ones that are highlighted, I actually already have the money in the account for. This one, just half of it. So for those who talk about being 1 month ahead, that has been my goal. And like, I'm real close to being a full month ahead and being able to pay things as they come due. All of the ones that are checked have already been paid. The ones that are highlighted, the money's already there for. So we're good. And we have one birthday to worry about this month. So now I'm going to flip by. Another thing that has changed this year is that I used to keep our main budget in one notebook, and I made a copy of it for you guys. And that was to protect my fiance's information. But that's a lot more work than I have time to put in. So this year, you all are going to get to see the real budget notebook. And what I'm going to do is any pages that are specific to our joint information, I'm going to keep paper clipped so that you guys don't see that. But okay, let me flip this around here. Here is the monthly budget for January. My day job is going to be $19.28. My second job is going to be $220, which brings my total income to $2,148. For anyone who has been watching me for a while, that is an increase in my income. I did get a raise beginning November 1st, and I'm very, very grateful to the people that made that happen, because it is just an enormous blessing to my family. And in fact, I got notified about the raise the day that the pipe burst in my house. You know, talk about bittersweet. I didn't even have time to be happy about that. But I am extremely grateful because it was a significant raise. Anyway, I have my fixed expenses. I did change my monthly budget a little bit just because I saw some other places. The Crafty Budgeter comes to mind, where she kept her debt and savings separate from everything else. And I thought, that's brilliant. It's brilliant. So, Brittany, if you're out there, you're brilliant. But I was like, okay, well, I'll just move mine down to the bottom. And I really liked, there are a lot of budgeters out there who have that remaining total at the end of each section. And I thought that that would be real nice to look at going forward, because I know that when I get over here, I only have $900 left after all of the fixed stuff. And it was just a lot easier to deal with. Now, granted, I do my budget in an Excel spreadsheet. And if you guys want to see the one that I've made for 2022, I'll be glad to show you. Just leave me a comment and let me know that that's something you'd like to see. But I do it in an Excel spreadsheet first and transpose it here. But this makes it so much easier to make sure that my numbers are right, because a formula could be wrong in an Excel spreadsheet. So anyway, I have all of my fixed expenses listed over here. And my variable expenses, I've added a few. Like lawn care is something that I didn't used to budget for, but our mower died last year and we had to scramble to come up with money to pay somebody to come and mow the yard. So I want to put money toward lawn care every month. So it's actually part of our joint budget. So this is not everything that we're putting toward it, and this is not all of my part. It's just what I could afford to come out of this budget. But we've got lawn care added on here. I think that's all in that category for this one. And then down here, I have my minimum monthly payments for Capital One, my Lowe's card, Murray State, Kia, what I'm putting back monthly. I've got my sinking funds down here, or the ones that are actually serving as going to the savings. So my license and tax, the Sam's membership, Amazon Prime, birthday funds. I'm setting aside money to buy a card. And then a little bit of money for Valentine's Day. I just didn't have any more money to throw at it at the time. So, and doing it this way, I've got my remaining of each of those categories. I carried forward $317. The total of my debt and savings was $317, and I come out to a zero-based budget. So, on this page, this one is a lot busier this year, but I think next month I'm going to make these spaces much bigger. I just wasn't sure if I was going to have extra pages at the end, but it turns out that I do. So I will actually make these much bigger next month. But I have my fixed, variable, and debt for each paycheck. So I have paycheck 1, paycheck 2, paycheck 3, paycheck 4. And they each have their remaining down at the bottom. So I think this is going to work out a whole lot better than what I was doing last year. But I've already got each paycheck on here. Now, the bad news about the January budget is that because we had COVID, I did not get to work the second job. So this paycheck is not as much as I anticipated it to be because of the tornado. And this check is not going to be anywhere near that because of COVID. So that's going to stink. But I think it's going to work itself out because I had to work a lot of overtime at this point because of end of the year stuff and tornado stuff. So this amount should be higher to offset, I'm thinking. And then down here, where I was off with COVID here, I was not off with COVID for this one and ended up having to do more of the first of the year stuff that had to be done that resulted in overtime. So, yeah, hopefully they will offset each other and all is going to be well with the world. But this is how I have everything broken out. So my plan this year is to come back to you guys each time I get paid, and we'll go over this page and you can watch my process for how I do my paychecks. Okay, so the sinking funds I have set up the same way that I always did. The top here is going to show you what our current balances are, which of course a whole lot of it is gone. I used to have, I don't know, like $5,000 in this account, and now we're down to $2,200, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to panic. I might panic a little, but I'm going to try not to panic. And we're going to work on this because this makes me extremely uncomfortable. And let me know what you all think about putting the emergency fund, once I have it back to $1,000, into a mutual fund. Because I keep hearing that mutual funds are where you need it to be, and that way we're less likely to touch it. But let me know what you think. But this is set up and ready to go for the month. This page I'm really excited about. My variable income, this is going to be for any overtime that I get. Any side hustle money might go here before it goes to debt or extra savings, whatever we decide to throw it at. But these are the things that were left out of the budget that I needed to be in the budget for January to get me to the goals that I have for the year. So, or they were places that we had overspent already. Places that we had overspent already because of everything that we were doing. Like we spent so much money. Anyway, so here are these. Anything that I get that's extra will be applied to these first, and then if I get more than this $183.74 of extra money during the month, at that point I can decide, is it going to go into my debt snowball? Is it going to go into miscellaneous money? That kind of thing. My debt snowball, I'll just do a whole video about the debt snowball because we're going to cry together. Okay, I also have a business budget set up in this notebook. I, of course, do not have Patreon, but I hope to have it before the end of the year. So that's currently at 0. My Etsy has not grown very much, but I'm hoping that I can get that up and going because I wasn't able to even design stickers and get them on the website. So I'm going to work on that. But so far, the only anticipated expenses that I have are HP Instant Ink, Canva, and digital papers, which comes out to $28.66. The estimated profit, you take your revenue minus expenses to get the profit, that's $1.34. The estimated taxes on that is going to be 27 cents. And I realize that for these amounts, I don't have to hold back taxes, but I think it's a good practice to get that into a habit. So that's my goal. And then my estimated take home would be $1.07, which is laughable. But hopefully it'll end up being more than that. I don't know that I have high hopes for January. I don't know that I'll actually hit 30, just because I haven't been able to upload anything. So the sales have kind of stopped. But maybe, maybe once I get everything uploaded, the sales will start coming in. Anyway, my intention is to reinvest 30% of whatever my take-home pay is into the business and take 70% as salary. And at the end of the month, whatever the 70% is, if there is anything, will go into this variable income budget and then applied wherever I need it to go. So, I will also have business sinking funds once I get money coming in, where I want that 30% to be set back for. And then, of course, an expense tracker so that I can track all of that. I have an estimated taxes section my beginning amounts are 0, because this is going to be what I save for 2022's taxes. So of course I'm beginning with 0. Federal self-employment tax is 15.3%, and Kentucky state tax for income is 5%. So that's where my 20.3 comes from. I intend to track any mileage that I have, which shouldn't really be much, but who knows. And then of course my side hustle investment page that is not filled out yet because I don't have December's filled out yet, but I'm going to get that caught up today. Anyway, and that's it, because the rest of it is joint information that that we don't necessarily need to share. So that is it for my budget book setup for January, and I will see you all. I'm sorry that this was so long. I'm sorry that I rambled so long. I felt very guilty for not being consistent with my videos, and I felt the need to explain where I'd been. I will see you all very soon in the next one for going through the paycheck budget. Bye.